Welcome to the Sunday afternoon show, The Voice of Stockton, KXVS. My co-host Connie O'Day will start the show. Welcome, Connie, for coming back to my show again.
Well, welcome to you too, and thank you. Thank you, Doug. Well, today we have an outstanding guest. This young lady sitting next to me, her name is Corinne Seaton. She's from the United Cerebral Palsy of San Joaquin, Amador, and Calaveras County. And she's going to tell us all about what the United Cerebral Palsy, which we will call UCP during our interview with her. And she's going to tell us all about her job and her position, what she does, and also about the United Cerebral Palsy in our communities and what they do, and special events coming up too. So, Corinne, I'm glad to have you here today.
It's a pleasure to be here. So I worked for United Cerebral Palsy for 6 years, and currently I'm the Director of Adult Programs and Services. We have an extensive amount of services through our organization, and we do reach out primarily in San Joaquin County, but we also reach out into the foothills. And
that would be
foothills
the Amador, Calaveras and Amador counties of California.
Right, yeah, but the majority of our clients, the majority of the people that we serve are in Stockton, Tracy, Manteca, Lodi, in that area.
Okay, very good.
So we have 5 adult day programs, and we have 3 located in Stockton, 1 in Tracy and 1 in Manteca, and so they run year-round, Monday through Friday, so people with various disabilities can go there. And even though our name is United Cerebral Palsy, we actually have a full spectrum of people with disabilities. For example, autism, cerebral palsy, of course, people with seizure disorders, people who've had traumatic brain injuries before the age of 18. And so it's truly a wide spectrum. We often say we're more than our name because it's truly more than more than cerebral palsy.
Now, do you also? I guess what I'm trying to say is, what are the age groups that you have at your different centers?
So in terms of the day programs, they're 18 all the way to end of life. So a person could feasibly be in their 70s and their 80s and be a part of one of the adult day programs. We do have another unit, clinical or children and family services, and that focuses on children between the ages of 0 and 5 years old. And so they're early.
And what program is that?
So that's Children and Family Services. And so we provide early intervention services when a person is newly diagnosed with a disability, and they found that it's most effective if they start early in terms of providing services for them. And then as they transition into school years, then we have therapists who go into the school and they provide services there, one-on-one with an individual or in their home environment.
So now, Corinne, with the young people that you provide services for, can you tell us what type of services that you actually provide for the young people?
So they could be working with a speech therapist, for example, so someone who might have some challenges in terms of delayed speech, which we sometimes see with people with autism. It could be working with an occupational therapist, a physical therapist, so if maybe someone has challenges in terms of balance or range of motion in terms of like moving their arms or their legs freely. And we have also there's an on-site place where children can come, and to me it's almost like a playground for kids, but it really is a way for them to receive those type of services to get them up to a more natural level in terms of their development, but through games. So they might be playing with a toy there, or jumping around, or balancing on some equipment. So it's really engaging. It's definitely one of the highlights of our programs.
And the program, is it open every single day or just certain days?
Well, for the ones in terms of the adult day programs, Monday through Friday, but it's year-round, other than holidays, of course. But then we have other programs, for example, supported employment. So we have adults who are looking for services, and they come in and they receive one-on-one services with our job coaches, our job developer, to determine in what field they want to work, what are their strengths, what might be some of their challenges. And then when they go on site, if they need additional support, there's a job coach there. For example, maybe someone is working for the first time at a grocery store, and the information they're receiving during the training process is really, really overwhelming. And so they have a job coach there to explain things more simply or teach them different things in terms of what the job expectations are, so modeling the behavior for them. And then we also have respite services. So this would be...
What does it say?
Respite.
What's that?
So respite services would be when, for example...
It's like a breathing service or respite?
Respite is, well, basically it means break. So like like a break, yeah. Okay. So if a family member who typically provides around-the-clock care for an adult or a child with disabilities would have the opportunity to say, okay, for these 4 hours on this day or even 8 hours on this day, you're going to work with my child, even if it's an adult child, and I'm going to go to the movies, or maybe I need to go grocery shopping. So the child or the adult has the opportunity to work one-on-one with someone, and then the parent or the care provider gets a break.
Well, that sounds very good, because I can imagine.
Okay. Hold on. Hold that thought. Okay, now you hit a nail on the head regarding. So when it's the caregiver provider that you let the parent get a time off from their kid, or to do other thing, or go to the doctor or grocery store. So do you have schedule? Do you actually screen them? You background check them, or things like that?
It's extensive. Yeah, everyone who works for us has gone through a background check. They've been fingerprinted, drug tested. If they're going to be driving, then we ask for their DMV report, because we want to ensure that they're safe out there. And even through the interview process, or actually even through the probationary period, we're always trying to determine if they're a good fit, as well as the feedback that we receive from family members in terms of how they're working with an individual. And in the case of the respite service, it's based on the need of the adult or the parent. So the person can say, I would like someone to come to my home on Saturday from 12 to 4, or the prime time that I really need additional support would be Friday from 4 to 8. So that's why it's around the clock in this case, 24 hours, because it depends on the need of the family. And in some cases, maybe just something came up, or maybe they have some major trip planned, and then in that case, they determine how they're going to block the hours.
Okay, so, for one thing, I like that, it's kind of interesting. So, when you have a case of people that actually, are they a worker? Are they a volunteer? Are there how do they? Because that's something people are trying to search for job, and that's a unique position and the responsibility of someone else giving a caregiver. A lot of people don't know what caregiver means, because I don't think people are now recognizing that they play a role for people with disability. So can you explain what their actual role as a caregiver? Because I know I've seen it in elderly people, but very few on on some other thing I don't remember. I think on a wheelchair, I think on mobile. So very list of things. There's a list of jobs that they're not aware. They say, I want to work at the store, or I work in the gas station. But this is more like a specialty that you need to be certified, or what?
No, not so much certification. We do have an extensive training process, and so when a person first comes on board, they're exposed to different types of people they may work with. And that's the thing with United Cerebral Palsy. There's a whole spectrum of disability. So it could be someone who has some severe challenges, including some physical challenges, like maybe they can't feed themselves independently or need assistance in the bathroom. And then you have other people who might have challenges socializing or behaving appropriately out in the community. And so in terms of respite, they can be in the home the whole time, working on some activity, playing a game, or going to the park, going to the movies. So the idea is that oftentimes people with, I would say, more severe disabilities, they may rely so much on their families, their like close family members, for all of their social interactions. And part of the idea with respite services is not only the break for the caregivers, like the families, or if they're in the families, but also that these individuals have an opportunity to interact with someone apart from their family, different experience, develop some strong bonds with other people.
Now, are these...
that is awesome. That's wonderful that you mentioned about that. Because I do believe that sometimes disability has kind of segregate themselves, families segregate their kid from the community or from other people because they're afraid they'll get hurt or they may be bullied or they may be might be molested, whatever. So they're overprotected from the thing, and yet they're not helping them to live a life. Even though they're severely, they still need some visual interaction from the world. It could be a tree, it could be the bird, it could be talking a simple discussion. Hey, how you doing? I had a dream that I was Superman, whatever. So I think that's wonderful. That's something that we need to focus on children because there's a lot to know about when parents don't know how to care for them because they don't come with a manual and they read, this is what you have to do. No, you have to learn by other resources, and that's good that you have them an opportunity to have a break. It's that not everything is all. You need time for yourself to take a break. It's not like you're your own loving lad. You just kind of I need to go. Recharge and go back.
Battery.
Exactly. Okay. I'm sorry. You were going to say something?
Well, that's what I was going to ask about and say about with the respite. It's so important that the caregiver. It's a hard job being a caregiver, and not only to people with disabilities, but there's other people that are caregivers to family members. Instead of putting them into a convalescent hospital or whatever, and so the caregiver does need to have a break. And I've always I've known about the respite aspect of UCP, and I think it's absolutely very necessary because the caregiver just cannot spend 24 hours, 365 days a week. Just doing one thing, and they do need time for themselves and to replenish their strength to come back and continue caring for the individual.
And we have seen situations where a parent, because they're aging, so say their adult child with a disability is in their 30s, for example, and maybe the parent is in their 60s, and so having lifted someone who's 150 pounds every day, multiple times a day,
it becomes impossible.
And maybe they have back pain, and so sometimes we're supporting that transition as they choose like a group home to go to, so like a care home, and usually there's 4 to 6 people in that home who are receiving services, so that could be...
Are you talking about the person with the disability?
Person with the disability,
okay.
Yeah, and so this is not a service that we provide, but in terms of helping with those transitional times or even just being a supportive group to help people work through those emotions, it can be really challenging because some parents have shared with me that they feel like they're letting go, or that it's almost like a lack of love, when truly it's not that. It's that they're trying to find the best place for the adult child, to receive that level of care.
Well, let me ask you this question, which I'm sure a lot of people are wondering about. How are the caregivers, and how are these programs funded?
So the funding is coming from the federal level to the state level, and then ultimately to a center called Valley Mountain Regional Center.
Yes, Valley Mountain Regional Center.
Yeah,
yes.
And so Valley Mountain Regional Center actually has a screening process. So it's not that the money goes directly to us, but they want to determine that a person is eligible for the services, that they have a disability that's severe enough that they would be eligible, and in turn they would pay for everything from transportation to day program services, respite, independent living, supported employment.
So
that's good. Okay, hold on now. Okay. Hold that thought. Now, you say something.
He keeps telling me to hold my thoughts.
That's how the deaf culture says. Hold your thoughts. Okay. Hold it. But you hit another nail on the head again. So when you go to the mountain region, they're qualified to fund it. I noticed that people that are not severely disability, do they receive fund also? Because you mentioned that it have to be severely disability. So, if there's not a conflict. What the word I'm looking for? It's a
Is there a standard?
Yes, thank you. Is it a standard for just to have stability to qualify to receive funds? What about the people that are not severely funded but that need to have a life coach? I can't give you the same, but also a life coach that I'm trying to get them to get in the community and learn how to cook, learn how to live, pay their bill, learn how to. I know there's a job coach and there is a caregiver that provides Cerebral, but what about the middle between those things that not it's being kind of ignored a little bit?
Right. What I mean? Yeah. Well, so Valley Mountain Regional Center, for a person who's going through that process, they have a test that a person takes, because Valley Mountain Regional Center is focused on a spectrum of developmental disabilities.
Okay.
Because we know, right, a person can have a disability, but it doesn't mean that it impacts their life in terms of the level of independence. A person can working and living on their own and having a family. So not everyone has those same challenges, and in terms of where our organization comes into play. But there are other options in terms of the Department of Rehabilitation. So that's an option, but their focus really is on the employment piece.
Right, and getting people back into employment.
A person wants to maybe transition from one job to another, and it can be even someone who previously worked in the construction field, injured their back, and so now they can't do heavy lifting, but their mind works fine, their hands work fine. Maybe they want to transition to architecture, for example, or graphic design, or something less taxing on their body. But that's more focused on career, educational transitions, and they receive funding from the federal level to support that program.
Through the Department of Rehabilitation. Right.
Okay. Thank you for answering my question. Go ahead. Thank you. I was like, go ahead. I'm already. I'll question you now. So go ahead.
We were talking about the different services and the different ages. Now, when you have the day programs, okay, then and the people with life challenges, disabilities. Okay, for the more adult, not the children, but the more adult, what type of programs and services do you provide in the daycare program?
So in terms of the day program, we have a big emphasis on community integration. So
what is it?
Community integration. So going on community outings. So anything from going shopping, going to the movies, going to a park, going to a restaurant. When Del Oso has their different events throughout the year, like their Halloween or Christmas or any other activities, that's a popular place to go. Or going to Mickey Grove, for example. So they decide their calendars on a monthly basis and try to have some variety so they're not going to the same place every time. And then other things like working on social skills, playing games, arts and crafts activities. We also have people from the community who are musicians, so they'll come in, and sometimes therapy dogs, just to change it up.
Right.
And then sometimes our clients, as we call them, they're sometimes they're making stuff. For example, making hats, so knitting hats or crocheting hats, or doing various projects and donating them to different nonprofits out there. So maybe to a women's shelter, or baking little dog treats and then donating them to a local animal shelter.
Nice.
I know. I've seen some of the paintings.
Oh yeah.
And on display that some of the centers have done, with the clients have done, and they're just extraordinary.
Yeah, that's right. So do you have like a exhibit for people in your client that show like on Pacific or Art Gallery display? Because I really support art with people with disability. I do believe they have not exposed their skill because it's being ignored. And then they want the disability of art in themselves. There's a lot more expression. When I see art in the people with disability, I get a lot more different in the world than they see what they do with their eyes and their writing. So I think it's better. I believe that they should have more recognition in the community instead of being put in just an organization itself, but also display it to the public to look and encourage other parents that kind of shied away from not getting help, to think that their children are broken or they're not efficient enough to be out in the world, so they're kind of shy away from service. So it's more kind of get them to look. Oh, look how talented they are, and they're giving a hope and dream for their children as well, and giving a hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think?
We have some amazing artists, but I must say, in terms of selling things, we've been focused more on like there's certain events like the Choices Conference, so they have a micro business part of it, micro enterprise, and so we do have some of our clients who have sold their artwork or jewelry, but it hasn't really been focused on like the general public.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
well, write it down and I can.
Okay, I will. Art gallery, because there's one across the street.
Yeah,
right?
they're like
all the way
three
on Pacific. Okay.
I know the Stockton Unified Goods District used the art gallery for adult program over there and across the street.
Ah, okay.
So so that's pretty good about that.
Okay. Well, I think that would be wonderful, because giving the public to realize that people with disabilities are not something you need to hide away, and so many times that happens, and we need to understand more about people with disabilities, and that they do have skills, they do have lives.
Absolutely.
And I'm talking about those that are severely disabled,
right,
that are in your programs.
Right. Yeah.
And because many people have disabilities that you wouldn't even know they have a disability. True. But they do. They have limitations. They've learned to live with those. And what about some of your events that you sponsor? I understand every year you have a prom spark.
Right. Spark of Night. May I mention one other program, though? I don't want to overlook the Independent Living Services.
Oh, yes.
And so
yes,
they help people who are living on their own, or maybe they're living with a roommate and they need help with grocery shopping or doing their laundry or being taken to doctor's appointments. So it helps people who want to live more independently, but there might be different challenges.
Still need help.
Yeah. And so oftentimes the way I look at United Cerebral Palsy, it's a spectrum of services. So a person could feasibly start with UCP as early as, they're born and, they're in their school age, and then they decide to go to an adult day program and make that transition after finishing high school. And then maybe they receive some or their family receives some respite services. And then gradually, as they're developing their skills and becoming more confident and have that desire to move out, then they could feasibly do that, get a job and live on their own.
Right.
So we don't just stop and say, well, that your life stops at this point when you finish high school, but that we can support you all along, because it truly is, as with everyone, it's a transitional process as we grow up.
So do you evaluate each person's or each client's disability and capabilities and put them into certain programs depending upon their capabilities?
No, I would say it's a joint effort. Part of it is major part of it is what they want, because it's driven by them, but we also want to ensure that it's compatible. For example, if we have someone with some behavioral issues, for example, they self-harm, or maybe they tend to be really, really aggressive, we want to ensure that we find a program that's going to fit them for both ways, right? So on one side, so we can provide the appropriate services for them, and also we don't necessarily want them around people who are medically fragile, so people who would be, if they were hit, for example, that they would be, it would be extremely traumatic for them. So on both sides, but oftentimes that's a more extreme situation. We rarely encounter it, but we always have team meetings, so people including the individual receiving services, the family or care provider, Valley Mountain Regional Center is there with their form of a case manager. Is always a collaborative effort, for better or for worse. When we run into challenging situations, we have the group together to discuss things, to see from different perspectives, which is really nice because everyone can pull on different strengths, their different expertises, as well as different resources in the community. Well, this is an option, or can we try this? And I love that. I suppose that's what I love most about my job, is that it's a collaborative process. We're not working in silos. We're very much a part of the community.
Excellent. That's very good.
I like that, what you said about that collaboration with community. As far as community, it's when you talk about expert, person. Are you talking about preventing behavior, or they're getting like, oh, I think he's gonna do this when you have the aggression going on, or there might be assuming, or it could be the family environment, it could be with the medicine environment. There are a lot of things that put a person in the body through stress and go through a lot of, what do you call it, people that are not aware of, they overlook what their behavior is about. Sometimes, certain days, I have bad days. Like I'm tired all of a sudden. I'm like, why am I tired? I had a good night's sleep, but yet I'm still tired. Why? You know. But and then you realize that just yesterday I overexerted myself, and it kind of delay process. So you have to, and I understand the mental field. Don't look in the future that much. You just have to know what your body keep up with the clients thing. Because sometimes when they're severe, they cannot talk for themselves. You have to really what thing that you could change that was to everyday thing. If you change something, that's what happened.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and sometimes we're reaching out to the families, for example. Sometimes even to someone who's prescribing meds to find out, was something changed? You know, did they change the dosage because they seem really, really tired on Monday? And then we find out, oh, okay, it's because instead of giving the meds at 7 o'clock, they gave the meds at 5 o'clock, so that maybe they started to wear off, or vice versa. And it is definitely, it's like, it's a collaborative process. It truly is, yeah. Sometimes it's guessing, and the biggest thing you'll hear us say in our behavior management programs is, what was the trigger? What set the person off? Was it because they wanted to eat and the food wasn't in the place they thought it was going to be, or there was a change in the schedule, or was someone irritating them, or did something happen at home? There's so many different factors, but trying to identify the patterns, because ultimately we don't want it to escalate to the point where someone is so aggravated. We prefer to say, we see it coming, we already figured it out, and let's figure out also what calms them down. Sometimes for a person it might be sitting in a chair, on a couch for example, listening to some relaxing music, having time speaking with a staff member, playing a game for a little while. Just depends on the person. And that's one of those, the individualized pieces of it, because like everyone's different, right? So how you handle it, for example, when you had a really, really tired day, maybe it's coffee. Man, I lost. Connie quit me. I'm mad. I hate that. You know, but at least
something like little thing that'll trigger, like
at least we'll know why, though.
Yeah.
Okay, what
I'm
set
mad
you
because
off?
I lost. She win. I'm only losing.
So you do case management on every one of the clients.
Everyone.
And
that's good.
Keep an ongoing record of their progress or regress or
exactly.
whatever they're doing.
And we report on it, and we have annual meetings. Sometimes they're more frequent. We have the records. This is how they're progressing. These are recommendations. But not to say we actually wait a whole year, because sometimes issues come up long before then. Maybe a goal was really challenging for a person, so they're not meeting it, so let's adjust it. Or maybe they've mastered some ability, like maybe the skill was they're going to acquire 5 words in a week, for example. Okay, well that's just, they're breezing through that. We don't want to keep them stuck, so we say, okay, so the next challenge will be, let's try 10 words during this time period. So there's always that, it's adjusting.
Are any of your clients in special education in any of the schools or in your programs?
Well, by the time, in terms of the adults, by the time they get to our program, they've finished high school. Whether they successfully completed it with a high school diploma or not depends on the person, or with a certificate of completion. But at that time, no. So
when you talk about certificate completion, are you talking about the GED, or is that another level? I never heard of.
Yes, that would be a different level too. So they haven't passed the testing, but they've enough to fulfill a basic requirement. But in terms of an employer, they don't necessarily count that, because oftentimes when you see on a job description, they're saying GED or high school diploma. So a certificate of completion is, I'm done. I'm not going to go back to high school, but not to say that it holds the same weight.
Like that's not saying you're like a high school dropout, or maybe you get
they did it, but
got it.
Not at that.
Do you
that level.
When trying to place one of your clients into employment? Okay. Do you monitor their progress on the job and deal with issues that might come up on the job.
Yes.
And work with the employer, understanding what the disability is, what their capabilities are. And then when they're not working, do you work with them to zero in on the things that their skills they're supposed to have for their job?
Yeah, so in terms of disclosing the details of the disability, that's really up for the individual to decide, because by law they don't have to disclose.
That's right.
They might just say, I need an accommodation. Even in terms of the job coaches being there, I would say that's when more we're talking about how best we can support the person. Or maybe there's a particular place in Home Depot, for example, where a person would be better suited, or we know that they're going to have certain challenges with their memory, so maybe having to direct someone to a particular aisle may not be the easiest thing because of the memory challenges. But at any time when they have a job coach, the person's there to guide them, redirect them, or if they're working there, they have ongoing access to someone. Maybe the challenges on the job were changed drastically.
Does the job coach stay there on the site?
Initially, they're there, so they're there with them the whole time, and then gradually they're phasing out of the picture.
Excellent.
So it's a gradual process. And then if something changed, they can say, hey, I need my job coach back again. Maybe I had to learn something new. I'm really struggling here. Okay, we'll bring the person back to provide that more like maintenance service for them, maintenance support over time.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful, because getting some of the people that are capable of working and getting them into employment, and we're always looking for employers that would like to assist and have someone working for them that maybe they have a disability, but they're able to do the job. So anyone of you out there that are interested in supporting the program through hiring some of their clients that are capable of working, please do contact the United Cerebral Palsy here in Stockton, California. That's excellent. Now, what about some of your events that you're having? That's pretty good ones coming up, I understand. So could you tell us about the Spark of Night Prom?
Yeah, I would say this one is probably our most popular event. We had it for the first time last year, and we hosted it in collaboration with a fraternity on the University of the Pacific campus called Psi Chi Sigma. And
that's here in Stockton, California.
Right, University of the Pacific and the Jerosa University Center Ball.
Okay, I cannot interrupt that. In a fraternity.
In a ballroom. In a ballroom. I'm going too fast. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So where do I start? Where do I restart?
You're doing your
we're having our prom in a ballroom.
Ballroom,
At the University of Pacific
campus.
Okay, campus. Very good. All right.
Cool. So it's going to be Saturday, October 28th from 6 to 9 p.m. No charge. We're committed to not charging for it. We don't want to have any additional obstacles for a person. We actually we have dresses that they can borrow as well for the women, and we have suits for the men. The men can actually keep the suits if they'd like to.
And where do you get these?
They'll be able to get them from United Cerebral Palsy. We're going to have 1 week at the end of September, and we'll be posting the times and the dates online, and they'll be able to come, try it on, and then if they like it, then they take it and wear it for prom. And we had an amazing turnout, more people than we expected. And we'll again have free food, so appetizers there. We'll have drinks, a DJ, a photo booth, both inside, outside. We have.
I know they like to dance.
Yes,
that's one thing I've seen.
They like to party. That's all. Yeah. Disability. People like to party.
Doug and I. Fun night. We were at Cesar Chavez High School a while back. And they have a group there called Circle of Friends for those with disabilities and challenges there at the school. And they were having a celebration and barbecue that day.
Nice.
And oh my, did we ever have fun.
Wow.
We had a great time.
That's awesome.
And those students had a wonderful time too.
Right.
Yes, there's all special ed.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Very nice.
Yeah, they were dancing. They have other people.
Loved to dance.
They have people that were non-disability that were supporting people with a special ed mentoring school. I was like, wow, I wish they used to have that when I was back in elementary school, but it wasn't. We kind of separated. But here, it's like they were mixture.
Right on.
I could not recognize them at all through all the interaction.
Yeah.
Because it was so. It was so transparent. It was not. It was like you can't even see them. They were disabled or not. You know what I mean? It was really awesome.
Yeah.
That was really encouraging. I was really inspired. I was like, that's what it should be all about. Now we have to have everything when you go to community. All of a sudden they start segregating themselves, recognizing who they are. And there's 3 things they separate when it comes to disability. When it comes to one of the teachers, there was a lady named I know her first name is Maria, but her last name, she's a teacher from Stockton. And as I was running for office, she said that their world, our microorganism world, that they're being protected by their own uniform. So when they get they don't know what the real world out it is, but in there they have their own world, their own family, their own drama. They're all mixture of things that are microism that they look at their own world. It's about them, but they don't even think about what the real life is. So it's kind of interesting me.
So, is there anything that the community can do to help with this prom?
Well, they can certainly donate. We are looking for donations so we can offset the cost of purchasing the food or the DJ, for example. And decorations we have covered at this point. Another thing is to donate dresses. We had some challenges last year with finding dresses that were for women who were size 12 and above, and so people were coming, but we couldn't find something that fit them appropriately. So that would definitely be helpful if people wanted to drop off any dresses or suits.
And where could they send any, say, like if they wanted to send a financial donation, or if they even wanted to bring a dress?
Okay, so
where would they go?
Yeah, so the best place would be our main site, our administrative site, which is located at 333 West Benjamin Holt Drive in Stockton, and it's right off of right near Pacific.
It's right across from the library.
Exactly. Yeah, Humphreys.
Humphreys.
Yeah, Humphreys in the library.
Business school and across from Bank of America.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right there.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, I remember last year. I heard there was a lot of volunteers that showed up to help. And I even went and volunteered, and they said, "No, you can't."
Oh yeah, so just no, it's true.
No more,
even now,
and I missed it, but I heard it was a wonderful event.
Yeah, it really was.
The only thing that was the dress is because I remember you would act like kind of hard, like, "Come on, we need dresses for Tyson Club," and eventually you got it.
Yeah,
really, it was a very successful thing.
Yeah, we've had. I think we've had more this year, more people. Yeah, we're doing like a social media push to try to obtain more dresses, and we actually have a lot of University of the Pacific college students who want to volunteer already.
Oh,
so
wonderful.
We're trying to kind of wait until they fill those spots. For example, we're going to have people who are coming to dance. So some of the college students just to dance, because sometimes people can be wallflowers and it's kind of hard to draw people out to the floor, or guys can be shy or women can be shy, so we have people who like to dance, who are getting people out on the floor to enjoy themselves. So that's
wonderful.
And so that's on October 28th,
right?
Okay, Saturday, October 28th.
Right before Halloween.
Yeah, and we seem to always end up around that time.
Yeah,
we were really
good.
Well, more or less, but sometimes we feel like we're competing with people who might have Halloween parties. So we're hoping people
I think
still
this
come
is
out.
Really wonderful. And getting volunteers from the university, and I'm sure that we could come up with some volunteers too.
Sure.
And that would be great to participate in there. Now you have a couple other events coming up. The one is called
Steptember. Yeah. Steptember and September.
Yes. And tell us about that.
So it's going to run from September 1st through the 28th, and the idea is that you form.
September 1st to 28th?
28th, yes.
28th, okay.
28th, yeah.
Okay.
So the idea is that you form a team of 4 people. It can be family members, it can be friends, it can be coworkers, and you commit every day from the 1st through the 28th to walk 10,000 steps. And it doesn't necessarily have to be literal steps. You could kayak, for example, and convert that to steps. You could clean your house, and that converts to steps.
What does that mean when you're saying that step? Because I'm not.
That
I
means
probably not grasping.
Okay,
A lot of people,
like with the pedometer, and you can, it's measuring. Okay, so I walked from here to the grocery store, and it was maybe 250 steps.
Okay,
for
I got it.
example.
Okay.
Yeah, or if it's, and there was a system last year where we could actually put in, let's say, like I went kayaking for 30 minutes, and so at this intensity level, like I was really sweating hard, and so then that translated into maybe 5,000 steps, for example.
Oh, really?
It could. Just
I
an
don't
idea.
even know
That's just
that.
an
But
example.
that's
Just
good.
throwing it out.
That's good. I like that.
So the people
Yeah.
who want to participate with this and help with the fundraising, do they get sponsors to sponsor them
Exactly.
for so much money?
Yeah.
Is there a limit on the money? Or?
No, definitely no limit, and there's not, and we haven't had it set up where if they meet their goal, then they're going to give a certain amount of money. Usually it's just someone says it's a blank amount, maybe it's $25, $50, $200. It just depends. Every bit counts.
So do you have a form that people can get? Is it online, or do they have to come to the UCP office?
Probably the easiest way would be to reach out by calling the main number, and we could send it by email, or they could visit our website.
And is the form on the website?
I'm not sure at this point, actually, but we can definitely send it out to people. I don't know that the form is there, but we definitely have different flyers about the different events that are coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get at is, how does a person say they're participating with this, and how do they check their time and how many steps?
There's an online system, so it was set up by the UCP National Office. And so they were able to log in and register their team. So there was this whole setup online where they could, on a daily basis, see how they're tracking, and actually there was even a competitive piece. So there were other teams logged on. You could see, oh wow, they're up to maybe 30,000 steps in one day, and we're at 5,000.
So what is the website?
So the website for UCP is...
Go slowly.
Okay.
Because people out there, you might be wanting to write this down.
Okay,
yeah, so it's...
Give it time.
Okay, so it's...
Are you ready? Ready? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so it's www.ucpsj.org. Right.
Very good.
Yeah.
And that'll take you
got it?
right to the website, and then it'll show the events there, and they can begin to participate with that.
Right.
Oh, this sounds exciting. Yeah, that sounds very good. Now, what is the other one that you were telling me about around Christmas time?
Yes, Christmas Without Limits. And this is...
Okay, on Christmas Without a Limit in... Okay.
Yeah. So this is our second year hosting this event. And this is going to be on Friday, December 1st.
Friday, December 1st.
Starting at 5 o'clock at Waterloo Gun and Bocce Club.
That's in Stockton?
In Stockton.
Okay.
Yeah.
What day does it start?
Friday. Yeah,
Friday, December
1st.
1st.
Yeah.
Okay.
At Waterloo Bocce?
Gun and Bocce Club.
Oh, Waterloo Gun and Bocce Club. Okay.
Yeah.
What's a bocce? I never heard of that, but anyway, that's okay.
I think bocce is the one with the balls, and you try to. Yeah, it's a game. You throw a ball, and I played it on a little
a game?
PlayStation, but it's a game in person. Though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a ball that they throw.
You have to get it in a circle.
It's an Italian game.
Oh, it's Italian.
And they have bocce teams there at that place, at the Waterloo Gun and Bocce Club. Okay.
Okay.
And they have members, and they have teams that play this game. It's like you're throwing, almost like a
bowling alley.
Well, it's like almost a bowling alley, but you have a ball that is very small, and the ball is thrown, and the closest that gets to a certain point, and the opposing team tries to knock your ball out, And it's a very wonderful, fun game.
Maybe we can have a tournament on bocce. I think that'd be
awesome.
interesting. That's
Okay.
kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool for playing bocce. I wouldn't
I'll
mind.
have to take you out there and show you.
Yeah.
I've
All right,
gone to a
that's-
lot of wonderful events out there
Oh,
here in
that's awesome.
Stockton. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know what I like bowling, but bocce is probably what we took bad out of my bag.
No, it's probably easier because it's lighter.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all about this big.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure a lot of you out there listening know what bocce games are, and that's what we're talking about.
Oh,
and
cool.
this,
I like it.
This club, the Waterloo Rod and Gun Club, has a wonderful ballroom, and lots of organizations have events there. And it's a very wonderful place.
It
Yes.
had a dance.
And they serve wonderful food.
Oh, it's a restaurant too?
Yes.
They
yes.
call it Gun. I would never suspect a restaurant and a ballroom in a gun, where they have gun and bocce game in the same time. I would never suspect that.
I don't know where the guns come in.
I don't
have-
either, but I'll have to take you out there,
Yeah.
Doug, and
Well, that's
show
good
you.
to know.
I'll go to the
So
event.
that's wonderful. So Christmas without
This is a one-night event.
One night event.
One
Yeah.
night event.
Okay,
So,
and what's going
And
to be going on there?
So it's formal. We have dinner provided by Chef Paul Ratto from the Heritage Dining and Provisions.
yeah, fiction.
Yeah. So we'll have.
Elephant get. Oh, where am I?
Yeah.
I'm going too
Oh,
fast.
yeah.
Where am I?
Okay. Yeah. So a live auction.
He's reading
I'm
off
sorry.
of her notes.
This is, okay, Chef. I want to give him the recognition. Paul
Paul Ratto.
Ratto of Heritage Dining and Provision
Mhm.
will create delicacy food dinner and event will end with Christmas cheer and dancing. Okay.
Yep.
Now you see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now, are you going to be having raffles?
We will. Yeah.
So you'll be what they'll be looking for is people in the community to help to donate wonderful things so that they can have a raffle. So if you have a business and you want to donate for this wonderful Christmas program, and just call UCP here in Stockton and please donate. And I'm quite sure that if you are a business, your business card will be put on
Absolutely.
the raffle.
Yeah, matter
Okay.
of fact, depending on the level of sponsorship opportunity, you get various levels of publicity.
Publicity, very good. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Free publicity for your business.
Well,
So
that's awesome.
all of you out there that have businesses or want to donate to make a beautiful raffle prize, please get in touch with the United Cerebral Palsy here in Stockton, California. Okay? That sounds like a great... So what all goes on during this event now? You're going to have dinner.
Dinner is catered, and then we have drinks, so cocktails, and we have an elephant gift drawing, and it's a fun event. People had a wonderful time. Even the staff who attended were talking about it, months after.
Now, is there a cost for a ticket?
Let me check on that one. So people are actually, in terms of individual tickets, they could pay $250 to attend. Or if they want to purchase a table, depending on the size, it can range anywhere from $2,000 up to $10,000. And other things come with that in terms of the sponsorship opportunities, promotion, with their logo displayed. Mm-hmm.
So the bottom cost of the ticket is $250 per person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is a big, wonderful event.
Mm-hmm.
So is it like formal?
Formal. Oh yes.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's formal.
Formal attire.
So
Yes.
in other words,
For-
it's a sophisticated
Exactly.
crowd
Yes.
who have money.
Well put, Doug.
I feel like
I would
that's
say
good.
so.
I mean,
Ticket
that's,
is
I mean, that's really awesome. It's a sophisticated crowd with formal dining, good night food,
Yeah.
then a beautiful ballroom. I think that is amazing to reach out. People are much higher that that could have more entertainment and give donate to charity causes.
Right.
Really good.
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
Wonderful program.
Good job.
And so, can you tell us about any other events that you have for your clients during the season?
I would say our biggest one is the prom. Other than the activities that they're doing throughout the year, going to different activities out in the community, if there is a special event at Deloso, or they're going to a zoo, or something happening at Mickey Grove. I would say the other fundraiser that we have, which people really know us for, is the Last Chance Crab Feed, which occurs in March. And that one, affordable
That's
tickets.
The Last Chance Crab Feed?
We call it, Last Chance because it's later, later in the year in
Right,
terms of
most
the
crab
season.
feeds are in January and February.
Right, yeah, so we have a
Right.
huge turnout. We have about 500 people, give or take, who show up for the event. Delicious crab, people rave about it, so tasty. And I think the tickets, you might get a ticket, don't quote me on this, but anywhere from maybe $35, $45.
Yeah, that's
much
That's
more
reasonable.
reasonable.
I like
Much
that.
more reasonable.
That's about the average
Right.
that is
Yeah.
being charged. Because
Yeah.
a lot of organizations are having crab feeds
Yeah.
from January on.
Right, and it's all you can eat with pasta, salad, and it's good music, wonderful environment, and it's all going to a good purpose, wonderful organization.
That's good. I think that also what you said, the last again? What the
Last Chance
last chance
Crab Feed.
crab feed. So when did that start?
So that's in March. We don't have
When in March?
an exact date now.
Okay, that's why I didn't
Yeah.
get what she was saying from January to February, and
okay.
I don't know what the,
Oh,
where
yeah.
the last one goes.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay.
So it was
Yeah.
like in terms of the crab season, she was asking why do we call it Last Chance? Because
Right.
it's so late in terms of the crab season that we're like
so
your
the last crab season is fall on March.
I've seen it go as much later,
Oh, okay.
but I think in terms of when people have their fundraising events, we're
okay.
Generally January,
we're late.
February, and then we have those to do the Last
Yeah.
Chance Crab
Right.
Feeds in March.
Yeah, so you eat
So-
That's
all
good.
the crab you want for
because I know that January
hours.
is normally everybody tries to lose weight, and then February is Valentine. That's when
Oh,
they
yeah,
get the crab
chocolate.
feed, and then March is St. Patrick. You know.
Yeah, one
So-
holiday after another. Starting with Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving.
Oh
Christmas.
yeah, starting Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so-
That's the whole months of lots of wonderful
fish
events.
food.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I wish that they could have salmon.
Salmon?
Food. Salmon,
Really?
salmon.
All you can eat?
Instead of crab. I don't like
Really?
crab. But, I mean, when I grew up, I used to, they used to tell me crab, anything that has shell is no good. So
Oh,
I got
interesting.
in this mindset. So every time I think
Well,
about crab,
you've
I'm
got
like,
a wrong
hold on. I had kind of evolved
Oh,
to
okay.
get used to trying to
Okay.
develop, get used to it, and I like crabs. And I had ate crab soup before.
Okay.
I had crab salad,
Okay.
and I had crab bread or crab cake.
Ah, yeah, those are good
So
too.
they're good. I had
very
tried it, and
good.
they're good
Yeah.
too. So I had kind of,
Okay.
but when the actual crab itself,
No.
I cannot eat it.
Oh, it's tough.
Well,
you
these
have
are
to
the
work
legs.
so hard.
Yeah.
Cracking open.
I don't like how much, because I did have it, my hands started smelling
yeah,
in a week.
it's messy.
I'm like, no more.
It's so messy.
When I go to a crab feed, I
Uh-huh.
have my crab feed kit.
Oh,
I have my pliers to break
Right.
the shells.
Okay.
I have a little warmer with a
with the
candle
butter?
in it in a dish, so I can put my butter in there, so my
Nice.
butter gets warm. I bring lots of lemon, and
you're
I bring Thousand Island
You're a
dressing.
seasoned crab
Oh,
eater.
yes.
Oh yeah, you
And
would
I
fit
bring
right
my,
in at our
my
crab
little
feed.
crab forks.
Okay,
yeah,
a
my little
bib?
crab.
Do you have your own
well,
bib?
Generally, their bibs are served. But
Okay, yeah,
you do
yeah.
need to have a bib.
Definitely need a
lot of
bib.
times. And then I always bring mints to put on my table for everybody to enjoy
Very
afterwards.
nice.
And I carry that in a little bag. That's my crab feed bag.
Perfect.
Well, that's awesome. So you can dip with ranch, crab and ranch now, huh?
Oh yeah, that's good too.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Awesome.
Oh,
We can try
yes.
that next time. I'll try that. Because I have to have some.
Yeah.
Rad cover everything I eat some taste, you know.
I would think you're trying to kill the flavor though.
Yeah,
with
that's
the
what
rad, but
I
you don't
might
really
wanna
want
do.
it done.
You generally just
Kill the flavor. Yeah.
You
Kill the
generally
want to do.
just
Kill
put-
everything goes ranch.
everything you do or don't like.
That's true. That's true.
But you generally might want to put a little lemon in your melted butter, and then you dip your crab meat in there in the butter and eat it. But sometimes it's kind of good with the Thousand Island dressing too.
Thousand Island? I thought it was ranch.
No, Thousand Island. Did I say ranch?
Yeah, you said ranch.
Oh,
that's what I thought. When you mentioned ranch, I was like, everything go with ranch.
Yeah.
You know, with Thousand Island, I don't want to kind of have that.
With ranch and hot wings with ranch.
Yeah, that's right. That's
so, Doug, what about like? Do you like lobster or shrimp?
I like imitation crab.
Okay.
That's the only thing that I put in my salad, imitation crab. But other than that, I would make the way they make it, a soup and crab soup, and they'll have crab. I think they have crab pasta too.
Oh, okay.
They just take the meat out because the only thing
they put it in the pasta. Yeah.
The thing that I have a hard time as a person with my jaw is kind of not aligned where it should be. I kind of chew it right.
Okay.
So when I cook the thing, they still have the like a tendon of the shell, and it kind of crunch, and I kind of chew it, and I get stuck there, and I don't like that.
Oh no, you're supposed to get all the shell off of it.
Yeah, but it still has the tendon of the shell texture. You know what I mean? So it's like, but I'm not. No, I'm not downing on crab or nothing. Come and eat the crab feed. I'm open minded. I eat quite a few food already. Okay, so I'm not against crab feed or nothing. I'm just saying that for me, I prefer other things. You know,
all you can eat salmon.
All you can eat salmon, fish, all that.
I don't think now. I know a Lions Club. One of our Lions clubs in our district here had a crab feed with oysters.
Ooh, I like oysters.
And they had huge oysters.
Raw or
they were. Well, they're cooked.
Okay.
But I think they're cooked.
Of course.
But they're in the shell.
Okay.
And you have to open it up. I guess they're not cooked.
I don't know.
Well, they're supposed to cook. Normally, when they cook it, the shell kind of pop up.
Yeah, a little bit.
So
that was quite an interesting dinner.
So do you add anything there? Do you do sauces with your oyster, hot sauce or anything?
Well, I think those who ate the oysters used lemon on them, or maybe some hot sauce. But I was for the crab.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm a crab lady.
Okay, right on.
Well, you hear from Connie's voice. Okay, good. Okay, is there more? Anything else that we need to talk about?
No, I guess just our phone number. It's 2.
One thing before there's another thing I was going to ask you.
Sure.
At the adult program, when we were just talking about a service, how often do you advertise like an open house event? I remember you had an open house event, right? Before.
Yeah, we've had open house events when we've opened new programs, but that's been a while. Or when we've done major fundraising events to raise money for a wheelchair accessible.
But I remember going to the kitchen last time. It was wonderful. I went there like, wow, I met one at the board. Yeah. There was a bunch of ladies there, all dressed up, and I was there. It was really good.
This was what was this? An accessible kitchen?
Yeah, it's accessible kitchen. So
that you put in someone's home? Or?
No, it's at one of the day programs.
It's at the day program.
Day program. Yeah, so like so in terms of like the appliances are at a lower level, so a person in a wheelchair can access it.
Exactly.
The drawers are easy to open, so you don't have to struggle with them, and it's a really nice functional space.
That's the reason why I asked. Some people would not know if you could go into an organization.
Anytime.
Get invited. Just look around.
Anytime. Truly, we can run tours for someone who's from the community, someone who wants to join the program. Anytime, just call.
Corinne, there's a day program on Hammer Lane.
There is
in the Parkwoods Ranch Shopping Center. That's your program.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, that's Hammer Ranch program.
Okay, because
what did you say?
About 9 years ago, I donated my washer and dryer to them.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
because
perfect.
I was doing some work with UCP and I went over there and they were talking about washers and dryers. They needed them so badly because they do have to wash things and dry things during the day. And so when I was moving, I was downsizing.
Okay.
And my apartment didn't have any place for a washer and
Okay,
dryer.
sure.
So I donated it to them. And they
Perfect.
came over and picked it up.
Very nice.
Yes,
Well, thank
and
you.
they were very, very thankful for it because they really needed it.
Oh, that's
So-
another thing about what Connie just picked up. Do you have somebody, when let's say they donate furniture or clothes, you have people picking up clothes, or they don't do that no more?
We've switched a bit from that. So we've had, I would say, more specific things that the programs need. But we did have, there was a truck that would go around and they used to flyer in the community and say, we'll be on your street on a particular day, but it's changed a bit over the years.
Oh, okay.
Do you have anything on your website that's like a wish list of things that the programs need that people can donate?
Truly, I don't think we have anything at this time. That's something we could certainly add.
I think that would be very good. It
Yeah.
would give everyone out there and if you want to donate that, that's wonderful. That would be great because there's a lot of things.
I want to piggyback on Connie's ideas. I think a lot of people with disability do have a wish list. Sometimes want to be normal, some want to drive, some people want to have to fly, some people want to go to Disneyland. I mean, that's something that we can never break away from that wish list for children. But obviously, I know UCT focus on children, and I hope they do that. But an adult is the same thing too, where they need something to live on, like they got behind the bill or something. And something just happened. Because there's a lot of increase on bill and water bill or whatever. That's a wish list. I mean, washing and drying need to happen, or a kitchen, or whatever donation that give them a life skill of a chair or a light bulb or something like that. Do you have that kind of concept?
With Christmas Without Limits, that's one of the things we've reached out to the managers to create a wish list, which will ultimately be on our website.
Oh, good.
And so it can be anything from a recumbent bike, so if someone wants to do some exercises and program, or communication device, so people who might have challenges speaking, so they can use a device to speak for them. Some of the other things, like an activity, one of our programs wants to take a trip to go to Great America, and so that could potentially be a wish list. So anything from actual items that they use throughout their day to activities out in the community. So that's one of our big pushes with Christmas Without Limits.
Oh, that's awesome.
great.
I like that. That's a good perspective of that with the Christmas wish list. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would definitely, I'd like to make the suggestion that you do put a wish list on your website, anywhere from these wonderful trips to just things that you need in the program. And because I know there's lots of people out there that would love to donate and to help UCP very much. I mean, what you're doing is absolutely fantastic. I remember years ago when we had the state hospital here, which now has turned into a beautiful university. But before Governor Reagan had closed so many of our institutions, that's where most people did put people with disabilities and life challenges in. And they were institutionalized. Now, here in California, I think we only have, one or two institutions now, and the rest of the people are out in the community, and they're coming to your programs, and they're getting help, and they're getting recognized that they have abilities, and that they are full people just with a little extra challenge. Yes, that's and your program every day working with them is excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost time up. Can you last minute comment you want to talk about? Get contact or anything like that?
I just want to share our phone number. So it's
all right. Go ahead.
209 sorry. Doug.
I was trying to fade up.
209 956 02.
Oh, I messed up.
Okay.
Wrong hands, wrong fingers.
Okay, 209
956
02
90.
Yep.
So
that contact
main
Corinne
Seaton.
Corinne. Okay,
Seaton.
Corinne
Yeah.
Seaton, and you are the director of adult and adult program and service, right?
Yep. Right.
That's your direct contact,
No,
right?
that's the main number.
Oh,
Yeah.
the main.
I can give my direct number too.
direct
Okay.
number.
Direct number is 209 751
What?
3009.
Oh! Oh man, I'm having a what do you call it? Dyslexic.
Start over.
Sorry, everybody. 209
751
751
3009.
9.
Yep.
Okay, thank you for your patience.
Okay. No,
I'm
thank
happy
you.
that you came. I really
Thank you.
thank everyone for watching our Sunday afternoon, The Voice of Stockton KXVS. Thank you for coming, and thank you, Connie, for intro and all the questions that you get. A wonderful question. Thank you so much for your help.
You are so welcome. And thank you, Corinne.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. All right. Are we off?
KXVS.